Three, two, one.
Hi again, I'm Michael Clark, live here at LTV. It is May the 26th, and as we do every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, we bring you Ask the Supervisor, where you can do just that. Ask the East Hampton Town Supervisor, Peter Van Square, questions about ongoing events in the town. Hello, Peter.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thanks once again for making yourself available to field the questions and listen to the ideas or generally chat live here on LTV's channel 22 and LTV YouTube page. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, simply dial the number that you'll be seeing on your screen. That'll be coming up there in a second. And you'll be put into queue. And if you prefer, you can also send the questions to Michael Clark at ltveh.org. I'll be checking my email throughout the show, and I will read those questions to Peter. So feel free to call in and ask the supervisor. So, Peter, as always, a bunch of stuff to talk about until folks start to call in, if they decide to. How about we start with I know we had the first vaccination with the 12 to 15-year-olds this past week. How do you think it went?
It went great. And there were a lot of parents who were very relieved to be able to get their children vaccinated and to do so locally. I had one mother brought three of her children, a 16, a 14, and a 12-year-old. She's so ecstatic that she was posted on Facebook what a great experience it was. I think it was around 300 vaccinations were administered, and many of them were to children in the 12 to 16-year-old range. Again, thanks to all the many volunteers, Dr. Gail Schoenfeld and her crew as well, and the vaccinators that we had. We also had county pharmacists out to help with, drawing doses. So it went very smoothly. We had a very long day. It was about 12 and a half hours. I think I spent at the site from 7 to about 7:30 or so that night, 7 a.m. to 7:30. And people came in throughout the day. We took walk-ins, and the second doses we'll be able to schedule and condense in a much shorter period of time. There was also a vaccination pod that was at Ashwell Hall that we coordinated with the Southampton Stony Brook Medicine to give doses. Again, locally makes a difference, having those vaccines available here locally. And, Newsday just came out saying that over 70% of our area is now vaccinated in the South Fork. So, we're doing extremely well out here. I think we're equal to or ahead of most of the rest of the island in terms of vaccinations, which was a concern early on because we were isolated out here and we didn't have the access to testing. We didn't have the access to vaccines. So, I felt it was important to take that upon ourselves and provide that for our community. So it's worked out well.
Yeah, Jason, the man behind the glass, as you know, he shared a map with me that he found showing, what areas of Long Island, in fact, were and we were at the top of the list with where the whole town of East Hampton was like blacked out, meaning that they were, had a really good numbers associated with that. And that's something for you and your team to be proud of, for sure. I get a kick out of like the mom bringing in all the kids at once to get vaccinated. But I remember as a kid, right, someone on our block got chicken pox. That's what they did. The mom would grab all the kids, bring them into the house with the chicken pox so that everybody got chicken pox at once, and they were done.
Right.
Unfortunately,
right.
COVID's a little different, but
Absolutely
kind of reminded me of that. We also got, obviously, we got the holiday weekend coming up, and I know that the Farm Museum over on the corner of on 131 North Main, of course, from the firehouse there, they're opening their season. They're having a huge event there with it's a huge yard sale, really, with everything from art and antiques and posters, and Joe Potter and his band are going to be playing over there as well. Any chance you're going to be joining them, Peter?
That's always a possibility. They'll have me jump up and play a few songs with the guys over there. This is the big weekend coming up, Memorial Day weekend, and it's what we look forward to, in some cases dread every year at the beginning of the season. That which both nourishes and provides for the community, and also requires more resources to be expended as well. And so we expect this will be a very busy summer season. All indications are such. And, it'll be a much more normal, I think, summer season compared to what we've just been through last year, which was a summer like no other, I think is the catchphrase that was assigned to it. So we have the beach in Montauk, replenished, ready to go. That's looking great. Get some really nice quality white beach compatible sand delivered there this year. So we're gearing up. We're ready. We've hired our lifeguards and part-time Marine Patrol and whatnot, and code enforcement's ready to go. We have a new code enforcement director this year. So, we're prepared, planning for the season ahead.
Yeah. What do you think though, Peter? Like everybody, this is it's kind of hitting all at once, right? We're letting down our guard, as they say. Everything's kind of hitting all at once, and right at Memorial Day weekend, where we're kind of come back into the norm. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be even busier, or I know we're kind of trying to tell the future here, but how is it going to be different, do you think?
Well, I think it's certainly going to be very different than what we've been experiencing the last year. A lot of people haven't seen each other in a long time, and I think
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pent up energy, and people, we're social animals, and we want to be with other people, and we'll be able to do that again. So, I think that's very positive.
Yeah.
And we just need to encourage people to do so respectfully and just chill and enjoy the place, but respect it.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I know everybody else is too. And it's kind of funny. We were kind of making a joke last week on last week's show about the vaccination lotteries. And then somebody came out, then right after that, all of a sudden it came out.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Good idea. Start here.
But they get the lotteries, and now New York State Cuomo has launched a scholarship pay for 4 years of school. I didn't get all the details on it, but I just saw it this morning. And 4 years for a college student if they've been vaccinated by a particular date. So, folks, you may want to look into that if you got a college-age kids, how welcome that would be. But I think it just shows, though, that everybody is doing, pulling out all the stops they can to get the people vaccinated. But I'm getting a notification here that we do have a caller on the line. Hey, Jason.
1 second. Let me unmute them right now. All right. Give me a sec. Hello, caller, ending in 0915. Oh, hey. There you go.
Hi, my name is Michael Hansen. I live in Wainscott. Getting everyone vaccinated is great and everything, but you know what else is great? Enjoying an evening without leaf blowers going full bore. I would love to thank the town board and anyone who pushed this legislation through. It is fantastic. However, I have still been hearing leaf blowers. And my question is, how many times can I call code enforcement before they get really tired of me?
Well, I guess you're going to have to keep working on that, Michael, because I don't know the answer. But I will say that, this is new legislation. Not everybody got the memo, if you will. We're still, moving forward with our public education campaign. And so it's going to take some time. We ask that people remain patient. And, we have flyers that code enforcement's been handing out, notifying homeowners and businesses that do landscaping that this is, in fact, the law, and we seek compliance. So, in some cases, you might call code enforcement about a complaint, and by the time they get there, the landscapers are done and have moved on. So it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, to get the word out.
I appreciate that. Just one tidbit. This morning, I spoke with the landscaper with the gas leaf blower, and I said, gas leaf blowers are banned, and he pulled out his electric leaf blower and said the battery was dead. So that's why they were using the gas-powered one. I thought that was interesting. But thank you very much.
Thanks for calling in, Michael. Have a great holiday weekend.
That's interesting. I don't think that counts, right, Peter? I don't think that's in the law. Well, if your battery runs out, you can still use the gas.
Gasoline backup. Yeah, you could get a ticket doing that.
But it will take a little while for people to get into the flow of doing things, and these guys are literally changing the way they do business, for a good reason. So it'll take a little bit of time, but we thank the caller. Peter, we're coming into that the debate season, and I know the only reason why I know is because they're doing them here. We have one on June the 3rd with the League of Women Voters, and one on June the 5th with the Group for Good Government, GGG. They'll be shown here on LTV Live. And I was wondering, how does one prepare for one of those things? Like, what are the things that you look for to, the messages that you want to share with your or just the people of East Hampton?
Well, I mean, for me, having been the supervisor, being the incumbent, I'm going to talk about my record because, that's what the incumbents need to do. If you're a serving official and you're running for re-election, point to the body of work that you've accomplished during your tenure and during your last time in office. And so I think that's really what's important to do. And then the other thing that's important to do is talk about the issues, the most pressing issues that the town faces, and how you intend to deal with them. And what's the approach, what's the vision? But I think leadership, especially for someone who's actually served in office, you have the opportunity to demonstrate that, and you should point to those qualities so people can understand why you should be reelected. Or in the case of a challenger who's not served, how would you do things differently? I think that's, people want to hear from the candidates how they're going to deal with various situations moving forward and what they've accomplished today.
Yeah. What would you say, Peter, is your, obviously the COVID-19 response is probably the biggest, just looking at it from a layman's perspective, that's the heavy hitter probably on everybody that's serving, right? That everybody's in office around the country. That's the big thing on how they dealt with that. And I think, there's a pretty good track record for that in this town. And, but what would you say is the next biggest thing? What would you think?
Well, for me, my focus has been very much on the environment and ways that we can improve and protect our local environment. So, I'm very proud about my efforts to bring renewable energy to East Hampton. We have the first megawatt scale solar farm on the South Fork. We've negotiated, landing of the first New York offshore wind farm, bringing 70,000 homes, clean renewable energy, and negotiating $29+ million worth of benefits to our community here, reducing our use of electricity and other fossil fuels within town, replacing lighting like the downtown Montauk street lights with LED lights. That saves $18,000 a year. We've got over $12,000 from peak load relief by using our high efficiency gas generators to offset diesel production for electricity in peak summer months. We have the first municipal solar battery storage situation anywhere that's going forward. So, I think the environment acquiring more open space and water quality improvements. There's a whole slew of water quality projects that I've sponsored and that we've completed and that are underway.
Now, environmentally, Peter, that I know that you're an advocate, or I think you are, for the electric cars and those type of things, and the batteries. And someone brought up an interesting question to me the other day. We were just talking about it, and is there any type of special training that the fire department has to go through? There was the big situation, I think in Texas, I think it was, where a car, actually a self-driven car, caught fire. They were killed, and they were trying to put it out with hoses and water and all kinds of crazy.
Right. What? Yeah, there's a different whole protocol, and the local fire departments are trained in how to deal with electric vehicles, because that battery is live in many cases, and it could be compromised in an accident. But it's a matter of just the training. I mean, you think about fossil fuel car; it's got a highly explosive, flammable, fluid in it, gasoline,
right.
And so it's the same sort of situation. You have to be careful about it, and but each situation is dealt with differently. And I know in talking to the local fire departments, they do get trained on how to deal with electric cars in a crash situation.
It's going to be interesting to see how that evolves over time too. It's it's the way we're heading in that direction. But just a reminder to all you folks, if you'd like to please voice your ideas, opinions, and concerns here on Channel 22 every Wednesday at 2:00. Give us a call on the number that's at the top of the screen. Peter would be glad to answer your question. And, it's basically your opportunity to get off of Facebook and speak directly to the person who maybe can make a difference and share some of your thoughts and ideas. So we appreciate that. So feel free to call in or just send an email. What else is going on, Peter? What's the hot topic for you these days?
Well, this week, Tuesday's. Well, this week, Tuesday's work session will include the annual police department report. And as you know, this past year, we worked on and adopted a police re-envisioning and reform act as required by the state. And so as part of that annual report that we've been getting, there'll be some updates on that. We'll be talking about the Georgia Capone harvester, which is an ongoing project between the East Hampton Trustees, Dr. Chris Gobler's research, and Friends of Georgia Capone to address macroalgae and toxic algal blooms in Georgia Capone. This is a machine that takes the top layer of this macroalgae up and removing nitrogen and phosphorus from the pond. This is treating a symptom, keeps the pond from becoming anoxic and keeps the oxygen levels up, which is crucial for life there. And at the same time, is really just treating a symptom. As I said, we have a program to incentivize the replacement of septic systems around the pond and elsewhere in town. And we've been successful. I think over 25 waterfront properties have now converted to a low nitrogen waste treatment, and we have applications for more. But this is a really terrific, I think, result that we're seeing from the use of this machinery. Again, just a short-term way of treating the symptom. We'll have a discussion about the Lake Montauk Navigational Channel project with the Army Corps of Engineers. That channel provides access to New York State's #1 fishing harbor, Montauk, and the shoaling that has occurred there repeatedly over many years makes it difficult to navigate, and in some tide cycles impossible, and weather conditions impossible for boats to come in to land their catch. Boats have also increased in size, so this is a project to dredge the depth of that channel beyond its current specified depth and improve the safety and navigation in the harbor. One side benefit of that would be that the dredged sand, estimated to be about 220,000 cubic yards, will be placed downdrift on the west side of the jetties, where there's a public beach and private properties abutting the sound. And, that's suffered some erosion on a regular basis. So that's a benefit as well. We'll also be discussing pool house and accessory structures, amendments to that legislation, the zoning code, to better clarify for our land use boards and for the building department aspects of detached accessory buildings. And that's what's on tap for this Tuesday.
Now you just had a special meeting of the town board just the other day. And why don't you just fill the folks in on what happened in case they missed that one?
Yeah, there were 2 home rule messages that we were approving, and working with Assemblyman Thiel's office and Senator Palumbo, there had been a request that long discussed changing the terms for the East Hampton Town Trustees. Currently, all 9 members come up for election every 2 years, and it's somewhat chaotic. And there's been discussion about staggering the terms. And the proposal was to make it a 4-year term, with half the trustees being, elected every 2 years. So this home rule message would allow for, beginning in 2023, that election, the top 5 vote getters will get a 4-year term, and the next 4 highest vote getters will get a 2-year term, and that will put into motion that staggered term. There was some discussion about having a 6-year term and doing 3, 3, and 3 in a staggered basis, but I think the feeling was 6 years was a long time to commit to being a trustee, and 4 would be better. So happy that that's happening. And the other home rule message was to the dissolution of the scavenger waste treatment district. Our scavenger waste treatment plant was disassembled and is no longer needed. And that district created to support it is now being dissolved.
Well, thank you for that information. Is there anything else before you'd like to sign off here, Peter? Unless people are calling in?
Well, we have this big weekend coming up, and, just want everybody to remain calm, patient, enjoy yourselves, respect each other, and we'll all get along and have a nice time this summer, I hope. So
I hope so too. Well, thank you once again for giving us your time, Peter. And to you folks out there, we're here every Wednesday at 2:00 here at LTV Studios, and we're live, and we'd be glad to take your calls here. So until next time, we'll see you again. Bye now.
Thanks so much. Be well, everyone.